Hello you fantastic people and welcome back to Borderlands 3. In today's video is quite an exciting one. We have a special event going on in Borderlands 3 at the moment. All the rare spawn enemies currently spawn all the time, or at least are increased to the point where I haven't noticed anyone not spawning. So they spawn pretty much every time at least, and they have increased drops. Pretty much everyone has increased drops. All the Hammerlock crew challenges, all the Zero crew challenges, all of them have increased drop rates of their dedicated drops, which is great. On top of that, the anointed drops are increased as well. So if you guys want any anointed drops, if you want any of the legendary weapons that come from the rare spawn enemies, this is the time to do it. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys where to find all of the rare spawn enemies, all their locations, all their dedicated drops. I'm going to list them all for you guys and recommend which ones you should go for first in the next 2 weeks in which this event will be going on. Fingers crossed they keep some of the rare spawn enemies like locked into spawn all the time, because rare spawn enemies suck. So fingers crossed they keep doing that, and hopefully they keep the anointed drop rates up, because that would be amazing as well. Because the anointed drops, I just get none. Like, I farmed all the bosses in this game 50 times or more than 50 times, and I barely get any. So fingers crossed they keep these rates up. But let's get into the video. Now I go through these bosses in no particular order, but if you guys came to this video for 1 or 2 boss locations, or if you're coming back to this video just to try and remember where a boss spawns, I'll leave the top comment pinned to the top of the comment section, which have the full list of all the bosses and the timestamps for when I start explaining their locations and their drops, etc. So you guys can just skip through if you'd like, and that'll save you a whole bunch of time, hopefully. Now starting with L Dragon Jr., he has 3 dedicated legendary drops, which are currently turned up for anointed drops and apparently drop rates as well. Currently he has the Stopgap, Unleash the Dragon artifact, as well as the Stormfront grenade. So all those 3 legendaries are pretty damn good. You can see him here just around to the right. He's a pretty easy boss fight. He's got a red health bar, so you just shred him with any fire weapon. The Lucian's Claw does some pretty decent damage, as you can see, but he drops them pretty decently. Like, I got a Stormfront on one of my first few runs, so currently drop rates aren't too bad. You can find him on Jacob's Estate, or in Jacob's Estate right there, you'll see. Now second place is the Mother of Grogans, the obviously Game of Thrones Easter egg in Borderlands 3, which is pretty damn good that her spawn rates are all the way up, because usually she just never spawned for me. Now the best thing about this farm, you don't actually have to fight her really at all, or you just stab her, and as you can see it does like millions of damage for one stab. Because, you know, Game of Thrones, people who have watched it will know. For the dragons, they're pretty simple as well. Just an iron cannon will destroy them, or just pretty much anything. They've got a red health bar, so they don't take too long to finish off. Now, I don't believe they share a loot pool with the Mother of Grogans herself, but they do drop world drop legendaries as well, so it's definitely worth farming them. She has one dedicated drop called the Creeping Death. It's a shotgun. I personally haven't got to drop yet, but hopefully the drop rates are increased so we can get it in the near future. She can be found on the Anvil, not too far from the spawn locations. A bit of a short run, so it's not too bad. You do have to get through a few enemies to get there, but it's not too hard to get to. And next we have the Demo Skagans. These guys have 2 legendary items in their dedicated loot pool. It's the Nighthawken SMG, which is one of the fan favorite, I guess, SMGs in the game. I personally haven't had too much experience with it. The second one though is the Monocle Sniper Rifle, in which I am personally not a fan of whatsoever, but if you guys like that one, you can get it from this place as well. They have just 2 legendaries in their dedicated drop list, which makes it a bit easier to get them if you guys are farming for these guys. They also have 2 purple, I believe they're sniper rifles, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the Hunted and the Hunter purple weapons, dedicated to these guys as well. Don't sleep on purple weapons or even blue rarity weapons in this game. There are so many great ones which you guys will miss out on if you're just looking for the legendaries. But yeah, if you guys are looking for those 2 purples, they spawn here as well, and these guys aren't too hard of a boss fight. They're just essentially skags. They don't do that much extra damage. It's just the big pack of them might actually do some work, but other than that, they're pretty easy. You can see here I got the monocle first try, and it's anointed, which is pretty damn good. You guys can find these 2 skags in the Droughts on Pandora, just not too far from the original spawn location. And next we have Borman Nates, which from my experience is a giant pain. He has 3 legendary items in his dedicated loot pool, including the Cutsman SMG, which is likely what you guys are all looking for. It's an amazing SMG in this game. Pretty much you can carry yourself in Mayhem 4 with just a Cutsman. So this guy is the place to go for them, but he is super annoying. He doesn't seem to drop it for me, so if you guys can get it to drop, then you are extremely lucky, because I tried many times and he wouldn't drop it for me. But there are 2 legendary items in his loot pool on top of the Cutsman, including the Sawbar and the Psycho Stabber. Both great legendary weapons if you guys want to farm this guy. Well, he's not a rare spawn, because when he is, he never spawns, and it's super irritating. You guys can find him in the Meridian outskirts on Promethea, just next to the fast travel station. You just grab a car and it's super easy to get to. Coming up next we have the Enforcer, Mick Enforcer. Mick Enforcer. I don't know, his name's super annoying, but he is in Lectra City. He's a super great farm because you can just run past the one punch farm thing just on the left here. You'll see it. Great place to farm. You can hit that guy up and then you can just keep running and you'll see him just around on the right here. He has 3 legendary items in his loot pool, including the Rough Rider shield, which is very sought after. He also has the Masterwork crossbow and the Recharger shield as well. So 3 great legendaries there. From One Punch you can get the One Pump Chump, of course, but you can also get the Sleeping Giant. So a great double farm there and super easy. The new station is super close by. You can see it on screen now, the location from Lectra City. Next up we have Indo Tyrant, which was a super annoying farm while he was a rare spawn because he drops one of my favorite pistols in the game, the Unforgiven pistol, which is amazing. Has that increased crit hit damage, which is crazy. He also has the Wood Blocker sniper rifle, which no one wants because it drops all the time, but also the Gunnerang pistol. So there are his 3 legendary items. I'm particularly interested in the Unforgiven alone. He's not too difficult of a farm. He's got a red health bar, so any fire damage weapon will do the trick. Personally, I just use the bank stick for everything because it's just way faster. But I'm pretty sure, see, I got a wood blocker because that's just all I get with my luck. But it was anointed, at least, for flak as well. You can find him in the Floodmore Basin just here on screen. There's a super close by news station, just where that catcher ride is, just at the bottom of the screen there. And next up we have the Maxitrillion bot. He is a super irritating farm, so just throw a bunch of grenades in there because he reflects all the bullets you shoot at him, so just spam gas coals or anything corrosive will work. He has 2 legendary items in his loot pool, the ASMD sniper rifle and the Horizon shotgun, which I'm pretty sure the Horizon only drops from him alone, so that's the only time I've got it, at least, just here on screen. It's actually a pretty decent shotgun, so I'd recommend getting it. You can find this guy in the Ferocious Canopy. You essentially run all the way to where Genevieve is, and just before it you can find his boss farm. Coming up next we have the Power Troopers, obviously the Power Rangers Easter egg in Borderlands 3. They have their biggest dedicated loot pool for any rare spawn enemy by far in Borderlands 3. Just quickly on screen you can see where you save a bunch of time running to this farm. You can just jump onto that post there, jump up, and you'll find them just to the right here. Saves you the super long run all the way around, so definitely do that. It'll save you a bunch of time in the farm. But for their loot pool, they have the Star Helix, the Vanquisher, the Hyper Focus, the Thunderball Fists, the Transfusion Nade, the Surge, the Spinner, and the Nova Burner, which is a ridiculous loot pool. So I'm not sure if they're particularly dedicated to individual ones, but essentially if you're going to farm them, you may as well kill all of them. But you can get all of those legendaries from this one group of rare spawn enemies. So if you're looking for any of them, definitely recommend farming these guys. They're not too bad of a farm. They've got a decent amount of health, but if you guys are set up for mobbing especially, you should be able to shred these guys super easy. Just a bunch of melee-worn idiots, which can be found just here on the map at Atlas HQ, super close to the spawn point. And coming up next we have Princess Tarantella II, I believe that's how you're supposed to pronounce that. She has 3 different legendary drops: the Rosen's Thorns, which is a great pistol in the game. If you haven't seen that already, definitely go for that. The Hive rocket launcher and the Rerouter shield. She is pretty damn tanky, and the main thing is she jumps all over the joint and just like dodges all your shots. But she does have a red health bar. Apparently she does actually take corrosive damage as well because she's so armored from the front. Relatively to the other bosses though, she doesn't have too much health, so you should be able to handle her with pretty much all weapons, to be honest. She can be found just here in the Splinterlands on Pandora. It's kind of just in the middle of the desert, if I'm going to be honest, but it's just here. Coming up next is Rackman. He's a returning rare spawn enemy from Borderlands 2 at least. I'm not sure if he's in the other ones, but he's definitely in Borderlands 2. He's a giant pain in this game at least. He keeps teleporting away, which is super annoying, but he does have a shield and a red health bar, so I guess electric weapon and fire weapons would work pretty damn well. I personally just use the bang stick for everything because it's so quick. He has 3 legendary weapons in his dedicated loot pool, including the Nightfire, the Nighthawken, and the Safeguard artifact. You can find him in Carnivore in the big desert area. If you just zoom out here and go all the way to the left, this little cave area is where you'll find him. He has a bat signal to signal when he's spawned. Essentially, you can just check if that bat signal is in the air, and if it is, it means he's spawned for whenever it's not a rare spawn event situation going on. But currently he spawns all the time, so just yeet over to that cave. It'll just save you time if it's not currently the event on. And coming up next is Road Dog. He is an excellent rare spawn enemy, at least now that he's not a rare spawn. He has two fantastic shotguns, the Redline and the Hellwalker. The Hellwalker is like my favorite gun, favorite shotgun in the game, apart from of course my trusty bang stick. He also drops the Splattergun artifact, so if you guys are chasing that one, he drops it as well. Definitely take advantage of this guy while he's not a rare spawn enemy, 100%. He spawns in the Splinterlands, you can see right here in this compound. There's a new station just where my car is. Coming up next is Thunk and Sloth. These guys are kind of a giant pain because they're in a huge mobbing area. So if you're in Mayhem 4, there is so many enemies that are doing so much damage. So if you guys have a mobbing build, that would definitely be a recommendation for this one. These guys have 4 different legendary drops, including the Bangarang, the Victory Rush artifact, the Fastball, and the It's Piss grenade. They can be found in Conrad's Hold in just this little shed thing area, I guess. It's not too far a run from the new station. And coming up next is the Unstoppable Goliath. He's actually extremely stoppable. He's actually not got that much health and it's not too hard to farm him. But he does have several legendary drops that you can farm him for. The Devastator is one of them. The Band of Sitrak, if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Apologies if I'm wrong with that one. As well as the Big Boom Blaster Shield, which is a great shield in the game. I would recommend farming him. You can find him in Eden 6 on Aim of Maya, as you can see right here. The new station's not too far away, just above where I currently am on the map. And finally, Wick and Wardy are the final respawn enemy. They have 4 legendary weapons in their loot pool, including the Shocking AAA, the Perbird, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that, but that thing, the Black Hole, as well as the Quasar Grenade. My pronunciation is horrible. But you can kill Wick once, and I believe Wardy just keeps spawning as long as Wick is still alive. So you can keep farming him for whatever legendary drops are dedicated for him if you'd like to take advantage of that spawn rate. And these guys can be found on Promethea in Electricity, not too far from the fast travel station. You just run out of the little spawn point, run out to the right and follow the right hand side of the map, and you'll find them just here where my waypoint is. But yeah, that is every single rare spawn enemy in the game, including all their dedicated drops for their legendary items. They currently spawn all the time if you guys are watching this between the 16th of January and the 30th of January 2020, depending on how late you're watching this. They are currently spawning all the time. I'm fingers crossed they're going to turn those to constant because that would fix the game so much. Currently the anointed drops are turned up, and apparently the drop rates for all the enemies are turned up as well. So farm like crazy and get all those legendary weapons that the rare spawn enemies have, because farming them is a giant pain otherwise. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys found this video helpful or enjoyable. If you did, feel free to smash subscribe down below. It took so long to make this video. I don't particularly know why, but it took me like 2.5 days. So if you guys could smash subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you for all the support recently on just everything, because you guys are awesome. If you guys want to smash like and share the video, that will help the channel grow even more. I'm going to be live streaming regularly now because I got this cool new PC. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to hit the bell so YouTube will notify you for whenever I go live. I'll be streaming Borderlands 3 primarily, but I'm going to be getting into a few new games in the near future. So if you guys are interested in any of that, feel free to smash the bell for notifications. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys in the next video, which will be out ASAP. And yeah, adios.